Hey everyone, I'm Griff Hamlin. Thank you for joining me today. I have a video for you today about kind of a way to approach your pentatonic scales, blues scales in general. Typically, we use like box 1 or box, what we commonly call box 1, box 2, stuff like in the key of A, that, or maybe this. These are very, very common things that we talk about, the minor blues scale, the major blues scale, box 1, box 2. There's tons of videos about all that kind of stuff out there. And what you'll sometimes hear about referred to as the B.B. King pattern, I like to call it the house pattern. And the reason that I call it the house pattern is because it kind of looks like a house. So, at least an upside down house. From your point of view, it'll look more like a house than mine. Now, my first finger is on my root note. I'm in the key of A, so my first finger is the root, okay? And I'm gonna have that A. I'm gonna go down here. This is like the tip of the house, and that's the F sharp down there. 11th fret of the G string. Root's 10th fret of the B string. Then I have this note here at the 12th fret. And then on the top two strings, 10 and 12. So what you might have noticed is that when I play that pattern, it isn't a scale. It isn't any scale that you've ever played before, okay? So the first thing that you have to kind of wrap your head around is the fact that you're not playing a pentatonic scale when you play that pattern. You're playing simply a root, a sixth of the scale, a second, a fourth, and a fifth. There's no third, okay? The third can be achieved by bending up the second. If you bend up a whole step, you get the major third, and you get very major sound. But if you go a half step, you can hear how it gets very minor. Minor, major. And they have a very, very different sound, okay? And that's one of the coolest things about this pattern is that with that simple bend, you have access to either minor or major blues sounds, okay? Now the other thing that we can bend on that pattern is the top string. And I can go up to the 6. It's a full step bend. And not a single one of those notes is potentially offensive over any chord in a 12-bar blues progression. The root's never going to be bad. The two's never going to be bad. Over the one chord, you'll want to use the major third more, but you can certainly use the minor third. Over the 4 and 5 chord, you'll want to use the minor third and probably not the major third. That doesn't necessarily make it wrong. It means you have to be careful about that bend. Okay? The 4 will never be wrong, the 5 will never be wrong, and the 6 will never be wrong. So all of those notes are very, very useful over the entire chord progression. But usually I don't use it that way. Sometimes I do, but usually what I do is I turn it around. Okay? And I turn it into the Evil House pattern. Now if you know my 4-note solo pattern, you'll notice that my ring finger is now on the root. Before I was here. Now my ring finger is here. Okay, and so I have my root, my flat 7th, my 5th, the flatted 3rd, and the 4th. Now that pattern is a scale. It's the minor pentatonic scale. Okay, and you are straight up playing what we might call the top of box 2. Okay, so I've got the nice, sort of the B.B. King version. Very major sounding, assuming that you get a whole step bend there. You can also So simply by altering my bend there, I can actually go back and forth between those major and the minor sounds. But typically, again, what I'll do turn it around, put my third finger on the root now. So major, minor. Now since usually the way I approach a blues is over the 1 chord I'm going to play kind of more major, and over the 4 and 5 chord I'm going to play more minor. You can probably see where this is going. Over the 1 chord I'm going to play it this way. When the 4 and 5 chord come along, I'm going to play it that way. And that's what I demonstrated as this video was coming in, but you didn't know what you're looking at that time. So let me do it again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, as I just showed you, I'm going to play it, you know, I'll say forward facing. Over the 1 chord, when the 4 and 5 chord come, I'm going to go to that version. The evil version or the minor version, whatever you want to call it. Now one thing you can't do is bend this note really. You can, it gets you the 2. It's not the ideal bend though. Whereas in this version, that bend is very powerful. It's not really very powerful here at all. And it usually sounds out of place. Unless you can get it up a minor third. There's some stuff you can do there. But that's a little bit more advanced, and to be honest, it has to be used sparingly and used well. So it's one of those things that I'll kind of bring to your attention, but I don't suggest doing it a whole lot. So let me put on a jam track, and I'm going to demonstrate using, as I call it, the forward-facing house pattern over the 1 and the evil twin over the 4 and 5. So I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you got something out of it. Now those patterns are used very extensively in the blues. I use them a lot in a couple of courses I have, 5 Easy Blues Solos and Killer Blues Solos Made Easy, which I'll try and link to underneath this video in case you are more interested in them. But this is just such a useful pattern, and you can use it, man, I mean, just, you could do an entire solo all night long. I mean, it's amazing how much music you can get out of this little pattern used the way we just used it. So I hope you'll experiment with it and just really take some time and just play stuff and just listen to how it sounds and just really get it under your fingers, and I bet you'll come up with a bunch of great new licks today. So go do that, and I'll see you next time.